Hello and welcome to our complete Angular 7 user application. We're going to be doing step 8, building the sign up or registration component and HTML form, Angular Reactive Form to be specific. We're going to be introducing the Angular material design menu, material toolbar, alternate themes. We're going to give you 2 theme options. So when you click on that, you can change the theme of the entire application. We also introduce the favorite icon, normally known as a favicon, and I'll show you how to put that into your application. After that, we're going to review the Angular user app that we built from step 1 to step 8, because this is the final step in the Angular part of it, the front end. From now on, tutorials 8 to 11 are going to be about the back end, and we're going to build that with Java, and I'll show you how to do that. The screen is going to look like this. Basically looks like the add user form, except it's going to have 1 column instead of these 2 columns, and I'll show you how to build 1 column instead of 2. And then we're going to have the header and the footer looking like this. The header is going to look like that. I'll explain to you how that works and what the functionality of it is. As usual, if you like this channel or this tutorial, please remember to click on the subscribe button, which looks like this or like this. And also look below for links to our other steps 1 to 8 tutorials. And so you click on that, you can go to the YouTube videos on those if you are interested in that or you like to revise a little bit before you get to this. Also, we'll give you links to our blog and our GitHub website where you can actually get code on this particular application tutorial. If you like us, please don't forget to click on the like button, the thumbs up button that looks like this. Let's get started. Now this sign up form is going to be very similar to the add user screen. The only difference is that you can access this screen without logging in. So we're just going to enter information in here and sign in, and if the user name exists, then we're going to display the error message. So we are going to reuse that add user component and screen for much of the way. Let's get started. So go here again and do ng serve open. We're trying to build a screen that looks exactly like this, basically. So I'm gonna go here and do more tools, clear browsing data. So we're gonna build that screen, and then we're gonna do a few more things, like we're gonna put on the menu that looks kind of something like this. I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to do this, and if we get more time, then I'll show you how to do the footer, the header, and how to make sure, like right now you're not logged in. When you log in, this message should change. And so when we come in, we're gonna of course see this. So we're gonna be using these 2 files. As usual, we usually go to the component and we can get started actually. So basically on the component, I'm gonna kind of get almost all the code from the add user component. Without signing in, we should be able to go to that page. So if I click on this sign up, that's the page that we're trying to work on. So I'm just gonna copy everything from add user component, kind of like that, and I'll change a few things. I'll show you how to do that. Sign up component. I'm gonna do Control H, and everywhere it's add user, I'm gonna say sign up form. Okay, I'm gonna replace all. So now that says that I'm gonna click on that and then do Control period and enter, select form group. It's RxJS operators. So this looks like it's good. We could call this sign up user. And then we go to the sign up. On the form itself, we're gonna go to our add user component and just copy everything and make a few changes. Show you how to do that. So I'm gonna do math card from there. And so this is gonna be, let's see. So we have the error message. We have, I'm gonna say register, kind of like this. I'll do Control H, and I'm gonna say replace all. Okay, so add user. I'm gonna say register. Instead of add user here, we're just gonna call that sign up user. Let's change this to one column. We're gonna change this to that 390. Make this one column, and whenever there's grid tile, we just need one grid tile, not up to there. No. So we're taking this. So the controls container is just gonna have one thing, and it's just gonna look like that. So I'm gonna do a save. See if there's any errors. Okay, let's cancel this and just go to the sign up. And the sign up now looks kind of like this, which is kind of what we wanted. And like I said, if I put it into mobile, as you can see, all the fields are kind of line up a little better when the user is registered. So if you start registering, first name, I'm gonna say you are, so it's working. Basically, it is kind of working. So to test it, demo user at gmail.com, demo user 50. It has to be a little different. I'm going to do demo password here. I'm going to say this is other, and date of birth, I'm going to say long time ago, 1945, March 29th. And we're going to register this user. Okay, and so as you can see, demo user has been registered, and March 29, 1945. So that's it. What I like to do, we have some time, is just to do our headers. First, let's go to our app component. And this title, I'm going to change it to that. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll declare a variable here that says is alternate theme. Okay. And I'm going to say false. I'm going to say show filler. This is for the sliding menu. Constructor, and this is going to be private auth service, authentication service. We're going to say toggle theme, and this is going to be equal to this dot is alternate theme. This is alternate theme. We're going to have a logout method here. When you log out, it's going to come here, and all it's going to do is to say this dot authentication service dot logout. We're going to save this, and then we're going to go to the app component itself. In here, we're going to do several things. Let me just get rid of all this stuff before we, we had this. This is what comes with it. Something we're going to call a section. Okay. we're going to use flex layout fill. Okay, and we're going to say a class here called alternate theme. Okay, let's get this from here just so we don't misspell it. As alternate theme is going to be there, and that's what the section is about. If you can look in here, this is the way the theme toggles. You see now it's everything, all the components have a different color. You toggle again, it gives you the original one. So what happens is that for that we use CSS. Under source, you want to create a new file here called themes.scss. Import. I'm going to do a tilde like that. Angular material theming. You need these two. Include mat core. Primary mat palette. And you got to spell these correctly. $ mat deep purple. Now we're going to make that 800. There's different shades and you can experiment with these. And this is bad. We need to have $. So primary accent, we're going to do mat palette. And we're going to do again mat indigo. 500, 900, A 700. And then we're going to do 1. There's another mat palette. And it's got matte pink. That's all we're doing. So that's the primary theme. And so now you just do something like theme, matte, light, theme, primary, accent, 1. Kind of something like that. Okay. And then you have to include your theme. Include Angular material theme. That's what you do. We're going to do another theme. So we're going to put this one here. Alternate. Let me copy this. Primary is a matte palette, where it's going to be matte cyan 800, and then I'm going to do that again. Accent be a matte palette, and it's going to be matte blue. Okay, 400. You can change these colors yourself. A200, and you do alternate 1. It's going to be matte palette, and it's going to have a $ matte gray 700. That's what I'm going to do for the alternate theme. And now, as usual, like we did in the other one, you just do alternate theme. Okay, it's going to be matte light theme, primary, Sorry, this is gonna cost you a lot of trouble, a lot of errors. Accent 1. It's gonna be like that. And then I'm just gonna say you have to include it. Once again, include Angular material theme, alternate theme. Now there's one more thing you have to do. You need to come over here to your Angular JSON and look at this. This file is very sensitive. It's usually a good idea to probably back it up first before making any changes on this, because if you mess with this, your entire application is gone. I'm going to say that. In this section, we're going to do app header, and we're going to do side nav ref. Okay, is equal to app side nav side nav container. We need the module called mat side nav module. Export it material mat list module for the menu list. So we need those two. I'm gonna do this. So it needs to be like that. And this is basically position relative. And I'm gonna say padding 5 pixels. Mat side nav application side nav. Okay. Mode is gonna be side, and our role is gonna be navigation. Okay. So we do that just something like ng if we show filler, then we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a mat list item router link is equal to we don't have this, but we can do just user role. This is just to show you an extra thing. So basically, user role is not going to be showing in the menu unless you're admin. And we need a button here, and we're going to say on click we want to do the following: a show filler is equals to show fill mat raised button, and I'm gonna say admin menu mat nav list. Okay, and this is just gonna have now our router outlet. A mat list item. If you click, this is gonna give you toggle theme. First, when you click on this, it's gonna toggle the theme. App side nav, this thing right here, is gonna toggle We're just going to do a toggle. Let's put in here mat icon toggle on toggle theme. Let me just remove, we don't need to initialize this. I'm going to remove that. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to declare at input. That's what I want. And I'm going to make this private. Side nav ref. There's a mat side nav header constructor private. I'm going to say app component. Okay, app components, and then we're going to say private auth service authentication service control period this dot app component toggle theme logout. This is just going to be this dot authentication service dot logout. So now we go back in here, you can see this is coming up, and yeah, so this is looking good. It just tells us, you can see now there's a header and there's a footer. I'm going to do a mat, these are mat list items. Okay, router link list user. So when you click on that, it goes to list user. And when you click on it, and this is very important, and I'll show you why. I'm going to say app side nav dot toggle. So all it's saying is that as soon as you click on it, you're gonna also call the toggle. So which means that it's gonna do the, it's gonna take you to list user and it's gonna collapse the your side nav. I'm just gonna say mat icon, and this icon is gonna be home. Okay, and we're gonna do home a mat list item router link sign up. When you click, mat icon check. Sign up. Now let's go to the header. And we're going to restrict it a little bit. Height 20 pixels. Okay. And this one is going to be bigger. Twice the size of the other one. This is just for to make it look nice. I like my screen looking professional, you know. And so instead of header works here, we should have something. Yeah, and we have that, and we have this. So now we are good. Okay, so I'm going to say div ng if authentication service log in user. We're going to use a class called login message. Brown. And font size is equal to 55%. So all we're saying here is that you are not, you are logged in as, and I'm gonna do just this interpolation there, auth service logged in user first name, and then same thing, last name. The opposite, basically. So it's an else statement. Just this negated. You are not logged in. So let's see what happens so far. So there we go. So as you can see, you're not logged in, so that's why that message is there. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do span class is equals to spacer CSS, which is just simply flex 1 automatic 1 auto. Before I forget, I'm gonna put another one there. Have a div class is login message once again. This message just says welcome, and it doesn't know if you're logged in. So if you're logged in, though, it says span g if you're logged in, it's gonna say more. If you're not logged in, it's just gonna say welcome. This person. Div login message ng if router link is equal to. If you don't do this, it doesn't appear to be a link. It appears, I want it to be blue, and I'll show you what the difference is. So instead of being this brown, I want it to be blue to show that it's a link. Log out. Okay, if you're logged in. But if you're not logged in, then what you do is you have the same thing, and so this is the opposite. Okay, 2 links there. Okay, the first link is gonna say sign up. And it doesn't need a click, right? And the other one is gonna say sorry, this is On NBSP, I'm gonna put this thing there, just as to make it look a little pretty. I'm gonna put this thing here, nothing on it. So we're gonna say, so there's gonna be that one thing here, and this is gonna get to here. So let's take a look and see how it looks now. As you can see, so we have the welcome, and because we're not logged in, it doesn't say what it is, and says log in, log out right there. So that's great. Okay. And the type, it's supposed to button. Mat icon button. Okay. And when you click this button, what I want to do is to do side nav ref toggle. And I'm going to do mat icon. Again, area label. And it's good to do this. We didn't do all this much, but it's good to do it everywhere for 508 compliance. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it. Okay. And I'm gonna call this format indent increase. We're gonna put another spacer here. Let's see so far what's going on with this thing. As you can see, our app is looking a little better. So we have this thing over here. And if you click on it, you see that moves this to the right and it toggles. And this is that little toggle I was telling you, But anyway, that's what that button is. So after that button, we're going to put something in the middle here. Map comp title, kind of like that. Let's see if that works. Okay, and we have Angular 7 CRUD, but now you see it's on the right. That's because we need to space it again, kind of like that. It should come to the middle now. It should be pushed back to the center over here. As you can see now, you have that, and then you have this. So that's the title. Okay. This button is a mat icon button. All right. And we're gonna say mat menu trigger 4. I'm gonna say app menu. More vert. This is an Angular material component. You need that module, the mat menu module. Mat menu, which is what it's asking for. I'm gonna say over here, I'm gonna call it app menu, mat menu. So we could just reuse these things. for now. So in here, in the menu, okay, and I just noticed a problem there. Now we don't have side nav on this side, so we don't need the side navs. It's not going to be that. Okay, and it looks like we're fine. So I'm going to go here. Still not toggling theme. Sign up is going to bring you there. As you can see, all the screens that we built now have a nice thing around them. So before we do the toggle, let's just go home. Let's put the footer in. Just going to be our footers here. So as usual, we start with the component. And we don't need this method actually. You know, we can take that out. Because in the scaffolding, you know, it doesn't know whether you need it or not. Build date, okay? And this is just a date. In the constructor here, we're gonna do the same things. Public auth service, authentication service. Control period, enter, it will give you the service. And we're just gonna say here, this dot build date is equals to new date. And I'll show you where this comes. It just shows the year that we're working in. We're gonna have a method called logout. This basically calls the authentication service and logs us out. Copy that from there. We're gonna put in the middle a div. Login message. And we're gonna do interpolation here. Control period, enter. Another interpolation. And we're gonna pipe it so we can display it correctly. We're gonna say date in the form of y. And that's it. Should work. So if you look at the bottom here, you're gonna have a footer. Okay, so we have a footer there, we have a header there. Now one last thing before we get out of here. The toggle theme is not working, it's not changing the colors. The reason why that is because we need to probably restart this. Every time you make changes to these files over here outside of the app on the source, like we made a change in one of these files in Angular JSON, we made this change here, so to call the theme. And so when you do that, it's good to reboot. So we're going to do that again. Also, I'm going to clear the cache. It's building. If you look at it now, it looks like that. And if I do toggle theme, now you can see it's changing it. So if I enter user1@gmail.com, password, you can see the theme is different. Even everything is different. See, sign in. See, now these colors are different. It's the same thing, but it's different. If you toggle to a different theme, it'll change back to the original theme. We did Angular material toolbars. We have 3 toolbars, as you can see. It looks really decent, very nice. Our sign up. These are just the screens that we built before, but now that they're inside the menu, they look better. We have the slider, of course, which has a menu over here. When you click on it, it toggles back. When you click on any of these things, it'll toggle back. You notice that, and I explained that to you while we were building it. If you do F12 for the tools, you can see this screen looks not too bad on your mobile, and so we were able to implement all those things. And we looked at reactive forms. We've seen that. So now next is going to be, I'm going to show you how we are getting this. So how we are generating this. So every time you log in, you're generating. This is only active for 15 minutes. It's a very long string. It logs you in and gives you that string, and it won't allow you to go to certain pages without, like if I go to the home, it won't allow you to come here unless you're logged in, as you can see. And the way to look at that in the developer tools, let me just clear this, is just to say local storage access token, and you can see we have that, and that's active for 15 minutes. It will log you out. But basically where that goes is like in the authentication, in the auth guard, every time you log in, we make sure that you're logged in and we put something in the local storage called access token, and that's how I was able to access this. So it's basically a secured application, secured with JSON Web Tokens, and we integrated it with Java very seamlessly. And I advise you to use Java because Angular is very similar to Java, in terms of the classes and syntax and a lot of things. And one of the things I like about it is that if you go over here and look at the services, just to convert this to that is just very easy. If you look at this get users, all we have to do is just say get and say that it brings in that and pass in a URL and headers, and you can look at the Java. So get users is just basically, and we're going to look at these user endpoint. So get users is a get method that just basically brings in all the users. So you can see it's mapped on here. From here, that's how easy it is to map it. You just need this thing called the HTTP client, and I showed you how to do that. We used open source tools. So one more thing that I would like to show. So if you look at this, it looks ugly here because it says user. If you want this to be the correct one, you want to put in your own thing. What we're going to do is we're going to go get an icon. I'm going to copy this icon, and I'll show you just how to do it. I'll copy that. I'm going to bring it to my application. JAX-RS JavaScript user. Over here, source assets. I'm going to create a folder here called images, and I'm gonna go inside here and put an image called that. Okay, and it's a PNG file. I'm gonna copy that name. Now I'm gonna just come in here and go to my, if you look at my source, my index, so in here you can see that's the icon, dot slash assets images. I'm gonna say that. Okay, that's where I want my icon to come from. So now that I've changed that and I've rebuilt it, you should see something up here. And you can see right there, the icon is user. So that's how to change that. That's another thing that a lot of people. So we have a production ready. And so when I show you the backend, I'm going to show you actually how to build. I'm using this. It's called Jersey. And I'll show you how to build an app. The backend is built with Jersey. It's just really very simple to build. All we do is, and I'll show you from the back. All we do is just to link this. We have a web.xml which defines the APIs. So we just, every time it goes through API and it goes to the back, and it just, I mean, it's a very simple Java application. As you can see, there's not a lot of files. In the web, I bring it in here. This is how I connect to the database, and I'm going to show you this. So anyway, so that's it. We have an application here that runs that, you can edit users, you can add users, you can update users, you can log in, you can log out, the basic functionality of an application that way. So that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Next is going to be the Java, the backend part. I'm going to show you how to build a Mongo database, which is kind of like a little bit, just show you that a little bit. So our database is Mongo, and these users are just basically coming from the backend. I'm going to connect here to the local host, and I'll show you. So here are the users. So basically we're looking at these users, and that's why it looks kind of like that. Hello, and thank you for watching our complete Angular 7 user application. We did step 8, where we did the building of the sign up or the register component and HTML form. We introduced the Angular material design menu, toolbars, alternate themes, and favorite icons. And then we reviewed the application to just show you what we have built so far, because this is the end of our Angular part. From now on, step 8 to 11, I'm going to be about building the backend with Java. As usual, if you like that, please remember to subscribe, and also click on the thumbs up button. Please don't forget to look at our links below. We'll show you our blog and our GitHub webpage, where you can actually go get code for this tutorial and other tutorials. Thank you very much. Goodbye.